Hi everyone, welcome back to the Aftershot. I'm Mike. Back in 2018, I came to the realization I was getting too old to be a Sherpa. I was hauling at least 3 kilos worth of camera gear to far-flung places just to get a holiday snap. And honestly, the photos weren't any better for it. So on a trip to Nha Trang, Vietnam, I ditched the heavy load and booked a one-day photography tour. That day taught me more than years of hauling heavy glass. Today, I'm going to edit 3 photos from that trip to help me show my 3 favorite tips for making images more interesting. We started the day at a fish market. It was chaos, it was messy, and if you light everything, you emphasize nothing. First step, convert to black and white. The color is just noise here. Now I'm essentially relighting the scene by grabbing a radial gradient, placing it roughly over the subjects I want to focus on, which are the 3 hats and the table full of fish. Now I'm going to invert that and just refine it a little more by subtracting with a brush anything that might be on the areas that I want to focus on, which will be the bottom of these hats mainly. Now, lower the exposure, only slightly, no more than 30. Highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. That's already given it some punch, but what we'll do now is add one more mask. To do that, we'll do a luminance mask, and we should be able to get this so that we've mainly got the hats and the table. I'll bring that back to where we've got the whole hat. I don't want the floor, so we'll just bring that there, and then we'll add with brush, put on auto mask, the bottom of that hat. Now we'll do the opposite. We're going to add a little bit of exposure, some highlights, shadows, whites, bit too much. Deepen some of the blacks, that's a contrast. As you can see, that's got quite a lot of punch. We'll move on to the next one. Next, we moved to an industrial part of the village where they were using this particular area to weave hats. And while the demonstration was going on, I wanted to try and catch this woman who had this beautiful smile. Framing and the lighting leave it very flat. But hopefully with some very simple magic, we'll fix this. First, we're going to crop so we can really narrow down the focus of interest, onto the area we put in the frame. I think something like that. Now I'm not just choosing this randomly. If we go back to there, you can see that our subject's eyes have fallen on one of the rule of thirds. In addition to that, we have the lines of colour from the hat ribbon and her dress and the earring framing her. So we have quite a bit of assistance from other elements in the frame. First, we'll add a radial gradient to the lady's face. Add a little exposure. As before, lift the highlights, shadows, whites, and we'll just drop the blacks a little to give it some more contrast. Perfect. Now another radial gradient on the hair. Wouldn't mind just lifting a little bit of shadow on that. Lovely. A little bit more. There. That's the accent I want. Duplicate that on the other side. Lovely. And our last tip, this is the most important one. If you want interesting photos, stand in front of interesting stuff. This is the salt fields at sunset. The location does 90% of the work. Look at my edit here. All I'm going to do is hit auto and then go down to color grading and just move that slightly more towards the red to deepen it and give a golden hue to the image. And that's it. I'm not masking out trash cans or trying to fix bad lighting because I was on a tour that got me to the right place at the right time. The edit is effortless. You don't need the heaviest gear bag. You need the courage to darken the frame, the eye to use colour, and the sense to put yourself in front of a great subject. Dig into your archives and see if you can apply these tips to your own work. I'm Mike. This was the Aftershot. Simple editing, massive impact. See you in the next one.